It's good to be here this evening. I'll be speaking this evening about exporting excellence. Many years ago, I was in medical school. I remember we had a conversation with one of our consultants, and medical practice, how that we have all the big names, salmonellosis, listeriosis. I just said all of that to show you that I went to school. And we had all of that conversation, and I remember full well that there was something that stood out for me. There was a name, there was one food I had never heard of before. It was called sushi. And I don't know if you've ever seen sushi before, you've heard of sushi before. And so I began to study about it. This was many years ago. But as I prepared for this evening, I thought it was a great way of story just to help you with my thoughts tonight. Now, centuries ago, the Japanese, and if you know anything about the Japanese, they always love fresh fish. And so they always had the challenge of how do we keep fish fresh and all the rest. Usually because they have to fish in deep waters far from the shore. So they had to get ways to get that done. So one of the things they did was to use rice to preserve fish. So they layer the fish with rice. And then what happens is that the rice ferments but keeps the fish fresh. So one day, somebody asked a brilliant, simple question. And you know the things that changes our world are usually very simple. They're never grandiose, never big, just very simple thoughts, very simple ideas. The person asked, what if preservation can actually become presentation? And in that moment, what you know as sushi was birthed. And so now you have the craftsmanship, the detail, the intentionality that's given to it. But it's all sushi, uncooked food, which still reminds me of my medical practice, and I probably won't taste it because of what I learned in school. But then what happened is that it started out primarily as a Japanese cuisine. Nobody wants to touch it. But in just a few years, you find this cuisine in practically every main restaurant in every big city of the world. Manhattan, Manchester, maybe Lagos. I think Nigerians are a bit more careful. And all the cities of the world. And you ask yourself, what changed? What happened? And they didn't change anything about it. It was primarily a Japanese cuisine. How did it get into all the cities of the world? You see, I think one of the thoughts we should take away from here tonight is this, is that excellence needs no visa. Excellence leaps over borders, would require no visas to get into spaces and into places. And the idea about excellence is not losing your authenticity, but giving the extra intention and extra detail that is required for your work. You see, ideas are greater than people. And I think that's the beautiful thing about a TED Talk. Ideas are greater than people. They move faster and they move further than people. If I mention a name to you, for example, tonight, Richard Woman, well, a few people may know the name, or many of us may not know the name. Interestingly, he's the one who started TED, as it were. Now, most of us are gathered here for a TED Talk, and most of us do not know the person who started it, but we are here. His ideas have gone beyond him. His ideas have moved faster, and they have moved further than him. And that's the thing with ideas. But you see, the ideas that make the journey and survive that journey must be ideas laced with excellence in the same way you lace fish with rice. If the ideas are going to survive the journey and not just end up at your gate, end up just at the door of your neighbor, it must be laced with fish, with rice, just the same way you lace the fish with rice. And the thing with excellence is this. You see, many times when we talk about excellence, because I'm into the people business, and so it's about developing people, helping people get better. When we talk about excellence, the first thing the average mind thinks of is a big budget, all right? Expensive. And I could say to you very quickly here that excellence is not necessarily expensive. Let me describe excellence to you in the simplest way. It is me saying to you, it is me showing you that my idea is worth giving attention to. And so whatever it will take, however I feel about my idea, the values, the visions, the ideas, the thoughts I have about my idea, the emotions I have about my idea, my product, I am going to do just any and everything to make you see the exact same thing and feel the exact same way. That in itself is what excellence is. You see, excellence is giving the extra work to effort and execution so that you can give your ideas extra mileage. Now, when you understand that about excellence, then we bust the myth of, I need a big budget, I need somebody to help me, I need this and I need that. A few case studies. I mean, I don't know how many of us know K-pop. K-pop is more like the Korean version of hip-hop. Now, if you know anything about music today, I know some of you are wondering how come Pastor knows about K-pop. Well, I lead people that are humans who know about K-pop, so I better know what they know. But here's the point. If you know anything about K-pop today, many of their songs are charting Spotify lists. I mean, there's a group called BTS that's filling stadium and arena around the world today. And guess what? They sing exactly their Korean songs. They don't change anything. They're not trying to Americanize their songs. They're not trying to westernize it. What started as primarily content for a Korean audience has leaped over the borders, and everybody is now part of it. Why is that the case? People are not so concerned about culture. People are more concerned about quality. If we would give the attention, and what they did was basically simple. They gave serious excellence to storytelling. I mean, you would agree with me that K-pop choreography is some of the best that you'll ever see. They gave the excellence to storytelling, cinematography, and choreography, and all of the rest. And today, the rest is history. Another example, which comes very close home, is Nollywood. You remember in the 90s, Nollywood was dubbed as the low budget. I mean, there's not much to them and all the rest. And at some point, I think we went into this thing of trying to Americanize our stories, trying to, change and look a bit like them. But you'll agree with me today that the strength of Nollywood is that it's Nolly. And if you take the Nolly out of the wood, then all you are in the woods. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, Nollywood currently today is the second biggest film industry in the world. And I know we know this, but let it sink in that it's bigger than Hollywood. It's second only to Bollywood. And if you put it per capita in terms of people per movie, Nollywood is still bigger than Bollywood. I mean, Bollywood has the numbers that we don't have in Nigeria. And so if you look at it, I mean, in terms of what we produce from this country, is actually one of the biggest. And I remember speaking with a friend, and she told me about how that housewives in Dubai, housewives in Qatar, and I'm not talking about Nigerian housewives, I'm talking about housewives, Asian housewives, what they binge on is Nollywood. Now we have exported our stories. And guess what our stories are? Love. He was a gate man. And then now he's a rich man. And those are our stories. That's the truth. We were poor. The average Nigerian grew up poor. So why do we want to change our stories? We've exported our stories and we've found the audience. The key thing is this, is that we took our authenticity, added a bit more intention to it, gave some more excellence to it, and the world is now buying our story. Another example is Afrobeat. You'll agree with me that even just by the nature, the heavy beats, you know that it's not suited for a Western audience. Recently, my daughter was dancing, and I thought to myself, I said, this is so white. I mean, she went in every direction, no rhythm, nothing. That's what happens. But then you understand that, I mean, Afrobeat, very heavy, rhythmic, and all of the rest, and things like that. And normally, you don't expect that a white audience should enjoy this. But what has happened today? You'll find out that almost every song that comes out, even from the Western world today, that charts the boards and all the rest, they're looking for collaborations with our own artists. What happened? We didn't change what we had. We simply made it more excellent. Remember the conversation about sushi. Can the preservation become the presentation? And I think that if we can deal with the challenges, the myths that are in our minds, then we can take what we have, export it beyond borders, because what gives visa, what gives mileage to ideas is not necessarily whether it's cultural or whatever it is if it is excellent. You see, excellence is a universal language that everybody understands in every nation of the earth. And here's what I would say to you. I'm thinking about what's coming to your mind right now. Somebody is saying, well, if I'm going to go global, then it means that, well, I must scale big, I must have a big budget. I must be in every nation of the earth. I must be in every city and all of those things. Can I simplify it for you in your mind? what it means really to go global. It's as simple as this. It's as simple as your idea crossing a border. That's what it means to go global. If you can take an idea from a room in Dumagbo and it gets into a room in Manhattan, you have gone global. And guess what? The big part of the work has been done for you. In our day and our time, the tracks have been laid by social media, media like we have never seen it before, such that a gentleman can pick up his phone, have an idea in his room, record the idea, and somebody far away that he's never met before, is consuming the content and is willing to pay for it. Now, if the big lifting has been done for us, then why are we not willing to put in the extra effort for excellence? Think about it. It's like that producer, that aspiring producer, somewhere in Bariga who creates a beat. And guess what? Happy beats don't discriminate against color. Happy beats, whether it's on the streets of Bariga, on the streets of Manhattan, on the streets of Manchester, on the streets of Cairo, will produce and evoke the same emotion. They will dance. They will nod their head. As long as it's excellent, they're not asking where it's coming from. They are willing to pay for it. And I think the big job for us tonight and in this place is to ask ourselves, number one, what is my idea? Number two, how much am I willing to invest in it to tell the world that it matters? If it matters that much to you, then you must be willing to pay the price to show the world that it matters. Remember, sushi crossed borders without speaking no language. Your ideas can cross borders. Thank you.